Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little different than content that I have put out in the past. Today we are going to be reviewing / recapping Summer House Martha's Vineyard episode 2. Now I will start off with just very briefly, some thoughts that I had from episode 1 since I didn't do a review or a recap. So jumping right into it, thoughts from episode 1. I just got to get this out there. I just have to get this out there. I am a Milo apologist. I'm a Milo apologist, okay? We will get into Bria shenanigans in a second, okay? But I am a Milo apologist. He's just a baby. He's not doing nothing to nobody, okay? Secondly, Jasmine is doing way too much. I feel like Jasmine is trying to produce moments, and it just comes off as just a little bit phony. It doesn't need all of that. You are in a house of 8, 9, 10. Actually, we got to touch on this casting in a minute, but you are in a house of 9 to 12 young adults. There is going to be drama. You don't have to make something out of nothing or overemphasize the moment. Trust me, the drama will come. And the whole black excellence. Calm it down. Child, this life of a wife stuff that she got going on, word to Yandy, it's getting old. And the mistake they made was getting newlyweds on this show. Newlyweds are easily the most identifiably annoying people ever, next to Disney adults. So that was their mistake. Also, from the first episode, I don't know if this is going to play out through the rest of the show, but the guys calling dibs on Jordan, I just thought that was whack. I just thought that was lame. I thought it was also a little bit disrespectful because y'all don't know her and y'all over here little boys in a locker room fighting over who's gonna write a note to the pretty girl in class. It was just a little bit lame, just unserious because Amir got a girlfriend, Nick is on restricted, and Alex seems like he could care less. Also, speaking of Alex is fine, but it's giving gorgeous gowns, beautiful gowns. I'm all for the chill type. I don't want people who are in the house to just become background characters. Give us something. Also, going back to the whole Jasmine and Silas of it all, Silas is coming across as a wee bit controlling. It came out in the first episode when they were at the dinner, and then a little bit more in the second episode, and I'm just it comes off as controlling, but controlling because he's insecure about something. So hopefully within their marriage, these are issues that Silas and Jasmine can resolve. Just to say it, Mariah and Preston pretty much are my faves, and I was mad because episode 2, it was a little bit of Preston, and I'm just no, I need him more on my screen. He's the level-headed, fun, always got a joke. I like Preston. I need a little bit more Preston on my screen, and I also need for y'all to stop, for Bravo to stop playing the church organ every time Preston has something to say. I will also include a cast photo whenever I'm talking about the group, because child, I'm not gonna lie, this friend circle, some of the interactions, some of the connections are blurry. And then also peep this. I peeped this episode 1. Mariah and Phil are not in the cast promo materials, right? With the second episode, I was just okay, yeah, I get the feeling that my girl Mariah, she might be leaving, and Phil, he need to go. Since I'm getting too much into episode 2, let's get into the review. Episode 2 picks off where episode 1 left off. Silas is kind of projecting onto Jordan about Jasmine and Jordan's party life, nightlife, when they were still playmates living in New York City, living it up. Basically, he's saying that Jordan would have Jasmine out in New York City all hours of the night. It's unsafe, and he didn't like that, and he doesn't like when Jasmine goes to hang out with Jordan because she's the one constantly putting her in these situations. And then Jordan says, and it's not like I'm out every night. I'm only out unless there's a check involved. And I said, I know that's right, Jordan. It's a job at that point. If you're getting paid to make an appearance, if you're getting paid to go to a club, it's a job at that point. Now, if my homegirl want to come along, yeah, I got a section for her, and that's all that is. If somebody's buying her a drink, that's all it is. That is not Jordan's fault. You should have these conversations with your wife about the boundaries that you guys should have within your marriage, not take it out on the friend who's inviting your wife out. Like, I just thought that was mad stupid. I just thought that was so stupid. And again, these are these tendencies of Silas's that come out that just like show he's being a tad bit controlling, and I just don't like that. In Jasmine's confessional, she says, Jordan has no problem clapping back at men. She just can't clap back at my man. And in my head, I'm thinking, so tell your husband to chill out? Like, I understand this may be one of those instances where, you know, defend me in public, scold me in private, but at the same time, this is your girl, this is your best friend. So you should be able to say, okay, babe, like, you should be able to say in front of everybody, like, pat him on the shoulder, like, okay, babe, it's okay, like, we'll talk about it later, and leave it at that. Don't leave Jordan high and dry. See, this is something I wanted to touch on later, but it honestly seems like Jasmine is just so my man, my man, my man. Her other friends don't stand a chance. Now we're heading back home, back at the ranch. Everybody's getting ready for bed. And, you know, like I said, that at the table, that was probably one of those instances where, you know, defend me in public, scold me in private. So Jasmine and Silas, you know, they talk for a little bit. Jasmine says, yes, Silas, you went in a little too much on my girl. Like, it's not that deep. Like, it will be all right, right? Oh, I swear I blinked. I blinked. Why do I see Silas' ass on my TV screen? I was like, where did that come from? And then I blink again, and Silas and Jasmine are on a first-class plane to Pound Town. And I'm just thinking to myself, whoa, is this how the shows outside of Housewives give it up? Like, I couldn't believe it. We, the audience, are smart enough to know when the covers get pulled over and you hear a little, you know, little something in the background, you know what's up. Like, I haven't watched any of the other series of Summer House, so I don't know if that's how they give it up on those series. But even in like Love and Hip Hop, Basketball Wives, Jersey Shore even, they was never showing that much. So I was thinking to myself, whoa, that was a little bit jarring. But I did not need to see all of that. Like, whoa, that was a lot. So then the next morning, Jazz is making breakfast for Silas, you know, life of a wife down. And then the confessional, Silas and Jasmine are together, and Silas is talking about how he's feeling when he first found out that, you know, Jasmine and Mariah were living in a car together. You know, she was served an eviction notice. So he's just reflecting on how that made him feel. And he states that he knew within their partnership, he was going to have to be more observant of their finances, because it just seems like Jasmine has poor money management. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I kind of agree. Like, yeah. I'm sorry. Also in their confessional, it is just so clear, Jasmine just wanted to be a stay-at-home wife. She just wanted to be a stay-at-home wife. And I don't have no issue with that. But just like I was saying previously, that just means that she's going to put up with all of Silas' antics because she just wants to be a stay-at-home wife. And I love that down for you, sis. Like, love that for you. Like, it's just sometimes the little things that are sprinkled in just is not favorable and palatable to the audience. It's just like, that's how it comes across. So like I said, everybody's downstairs having breakfast, and something that I noticed, all the guys in the house are, probably with the exception of like Alex, I haven't seen him, but and Amir, but like all the guys in the house are working from home. And I'm thinking to myself, and I was thinking about this in episode 1, it's just like, how long are y'all actually here? The screen says, you know, day 3 of 15, day 4 of 15. Okay, cool. Y'all couldn't get 2 weeks of PTO? Like, like, how long are you guys actually here? Like I said, I don't know how the other Summer House series give it up. I don't know if it's normal for them too, but just like seeing that on screen, it's just like, wow, now it seems like you guys are kind of limited in the activities that you guys could do, because tomorrow at 10 o'clock, y'all got to get on y'all Zoom. So that, again, something small that I noticed, but moving on. We also get a little look into Silas and Jasmine's love story. So they met on Hinge, that godforsaken app. Like, anytime somebody tells me that they had a good experience from Hinge, I'm just thinking to myself, like, no shade, but like, They met on a dating app during the pandemic. They started dating in April, and by November they were engaged. Silas said he knew he wanted to put a ring on it. Discovering the timeline of their love story makes it a little bit more nauseating every time Jasmine takes a dig at Bria's or anybody else's relationship, because it's just like, girl, you just got married. Like, the ink ain't even dry on the marriage license yet, and you carrying on like you've been married 87 years.
Girl, stop playing with us right now.
Like, sis. Moving on, Amir invites Jordan to go kayaking. Kayaking is Amir's thing. Like, that's his thing. Jordan could care less. Jordan do not want to be bothered. Jordan don't want to be in the water. Jordan don't want to paddle. Jordan don't want to go kayaking, but she does it to appease Amir. And like I said, this whole Amir and Jordan thing, I could care less, because Amir got a girlfriend. Amir got a girlfriend. You playing in our face. Be so for real. So while Amir and Jordan are out kayaking, Nick comes in and saying he's not impressed with the gesture. He would do more. And I'm thinking to myself, but you haven't. Your biggest effort you have put forth with Jordan is being camped out in her DMs and her having you on restricted. Let's sit with that. Nick also reveals that he has been camped out in Shanice's DMs, and in my mind, I'm just like, again, lame. And he's just saying he's putting forth the effort, like these interactions are what start conversations. And I'm just thinking sliding up and sending a compliment or sending a fire and a heart eyes emoji is not a compliment. Like, what is Shanice gonna say to that? How does a conversation start from that? It doesn't. So in the next scene, the crew is getting ready to go bowling, and Bria actually reveals that she's good at bowling. And I am always like so in awe of people who are good at bowling, because me personally, I suck. I have never scored above 100. Like, bowling is just not my thing. Like, I'll do it for fun, but just know I'm always losing, and people, like, I have scored a 60 in bowling before. Like, it is just not my thing. So I always like love when people are good at bowling and they show off their tricks and skills. Like, yes, you go, because that is not my testimony. But anyways, Bria also is carrying Milo in one of those plastic like pet book bag containers, and Milo is all scrunched up in there, and they're even asking her like, girl, is Milo okay? And Bria's like, yeah, Milo's fine, he's chilling. Meanwhile, Milo all scrunched up like this. So I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, free Milo, okay? Jasmine and Bria go to the bar, and Jasmine asks Bria, if Simon was here, what would he be doing right now? So, you know, Bria says, oh, you know, he'd probably be buying all the drinks and buying all the food, you know, that's just his thing, that's what he does. And Preston is just like, and I will be indulging. And I said, I know that's right, Preston. And that made me think of something else. Is Bravo not covering food and drinks? Because on Housewives, those drinks, those meals, they're all comped. I have never, except for a few times on Atlanta, seen anybody argue over a bill. Also, don't let me find out that the Summer House Martha's Vineyard folks are being paid pennies, okay? Do not let me find that out, because the antics and the shenanigans will be in vain. But then also, as a side note, I have seen some of the Twitter accounts for the people, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, they don't really have any followers. So if y'all are online and y'all are really into Summer House Martha's Vineyard, give the cast a follow, you know, help boost them, hopefully, so that they could get a second season, because, you know, they deserve a chance. I feel like all Bravo shows, they deserve at least 2 seasons for the people to be able to fill it out, for, you know, just to give everybody a fair chance. I gotta get back on track. Jasmine is like, I don't need his money. I got a man. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, like, you asked. So if you don't want to indulge in the drinks and the food that Simon is paying for, then don't do it. Like, it's truly just that simple. But anyways, Then Bria asked Jasmine if it's okay if Simon stays in the house for the last week while he's here visiting from Germany. And again, this is what's making me think, how long are they actually here? Because if Simon stays for the last week, they're only here for 15 days. He'll be here for half of the time that everybody else is here. Jasmine says to Bria, of course, if it'll make you happy, you know, by all means, like, no problem. And then we cut to the producers asking Bria if this is a sign that Jasmine is taking your relationship serious. And Bria just says, no. And then cut to Jasmine in her confessional, and she's like, of course I don't take the relationship serious. It's not a marriage. And I'm just thinking, when is she gonna come off of this? When is she gonna come off of this? So while they're out bowling, Mariah tells the crew that she will be hosting a moon mass. So a moon mass is like a traditional hoodoo practice that was passed down through both sides of her family. And it's something that she only does and only shares with people who are very close in her life. She considers it to be something very intimate and something that she just holds near and dear to her, right? Now, Mariah explained that to us. She explained that to us in her confessional. I don't know if when she was introducing the crew that she was this clear of stating how important it was to her. Like, I feel like if she just like laid that ground rule first, it would have prevented some of the, you know, feelings that she was experiencing later on. But at the same time, it's just like, you know, you can try to do these things, but it's not guaranteed that the people you're introducing it to will feel for it. While they're outside, you know, setting up for the moon mass, Silas goes in the house. It's like, I just got to go check on my wife. And I'm thinking, we are being bombarded. We are being bombarded with this Silas Jasmine stuff. We get it. We get it. You're married. Like, chill out. Like, she's in the house making drinks. She did not fall off a cliff. She's not on a flight to Antarctica. She's in the house. Chill. But I'm thinking to myself, could the moon mass not have happened in the house? I feel like then they would have been more receptive to that, because everybody's huddled up and slumped over. They're trying to get warm. And I'm thinking to myself also, how cold actually is it? Because Mariah was in shorts and a hoodie, Amir was in shorts and a long sleeve, and then you got the girls bundled up in blankets. So Mariah is explaining the moon mass, and I felt sorry for her because pretty much everybody was disinterested in it. So everybody goes back in the house, and Mariah is feeling a little bit defeated, and I do feel bad for her at this point. So it's the next day, and Shanice comes into the house. And Nick is getting all amped. He's getting all geeked because, you know, the other girl, the second girl whose DMs he was camped out in, is finally back in the house. So he's ready to shoot his shot, get his chance. And when Shanice comes in the house, Nick has the nerve, the gall, and the gumption to say, that's not her. She looks completely different. And I'm just thinking to myself, well, Nick, that is an airport outfit. That is a lounging around the airport, walking from terminal to terminal, trying to get on, you know, trying to catch a flight. That's that kind of outfit. Like, chill out. You are trying to compare her done up pictures on Instagram to how she looks walking in the house straight from the airport. Like, gone somewhere, gone. Jasmine brings up how she feels like she doesn't know how to be a friend to her friends now that she's new married Jasmine. And in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, Jasmine, do you not have any other friends who are your peers who are married? Or do you not have any older aunties, your mom, anybody you can talk to about how to maintain your important friendships while being in a marriage? Because it's getting tiring. Like, you know, sound off in the comments down below. But when you get married, how much of your interpersonal relationships with other people, how much do those have to change? Because your partner should know how you and your friends get down before y'all get married, and they should be accepting of that, unless your friends got you out here pussy popping on a handstand, you know? And it's kind of becoming a little bit tired, and it's only episode 2, mind you. It's becoming a little tired because obviously your friends don't care. First things first. Second, you keep asking your girlfriends and they're obviously not giving you the answer that you want. So why keep asking them? You know what I mean? So in the next scene, we see that the crew, they're getting ready to head out. Mariah says she's gonna hang back. She doesn't really feel like going right now. She just needs to decompress, but you know, later on, hit her up with the location and her and Preston will go together. So this scene, when I tell you, I rewatched this like 4 or 5 times just to try to understand the sequence of events. So Mariah discovers that Milo's items are in the washer dryer with clean towels, clean face cloths, body towels, beach towels, all that. Bria says it's a Mariah problem. And then Mariah shoves Milo's items into Bria's shoulder like this. Okay. Now Bria and Mariah are getting into it. They're all up in each other's faces. Bria's like, watch your tone. And I'm just thinking to myself, okay, Bria is a little scrappy. And while they're arguing, screaming, whatever in each other's face, Milo is upstairs barking his head off, causing a ruckus. And then, you know, Bria says, call me another bitch. And Mariah's just like, bitch? And now they talking about they about to fight, and it's just a lot. I just felt like both Bria and Mariah were in the wrong. Bria, you just have to be a little bit more considerate. As somebody who has a dog, as somebody who grew up with dogs, I don't believe that Bria just put Milo's stuff in the wash. I would like to believe she's just not that inconsiderate. Even with the hair situation, I would have loved if the producers zoomed in on the couch or zoomed in on the tape to actually show how much dog hair there was. But then also Mariah, that conversation did not have to escalate to what it did. And it's quite clear it escalated to that because she's still a little salty and a little, you know, upset about what was about yesterday, about how nobody was really interacting with the moon mass. So twofold, both sides were wrong. Jasmine comes in and she pulls Mariah to the side and she's kind of like scolding Mariah, and Mariah's like, why aren't you telling Bria that she was wrong for what she did? And then you also have Bria being upset because Shanice ran out. Shanice got in the cab and she said, I don't know what y'all got going on, but I'm trying to get off my ass at this bar. There are shots waiting. Y'all can figure this out. So Bria's mad about that. I will be too. Girl, if you are my best friend in this house, you could at least stood next to me. You could have at least came in and pulled me out when you seen the girl getting all up in my face. Like something. She really did leave Bria high and dry just to get to the club. So when they do finally get to the restaurant, this kind of annoyed me because Jasmine is like, I don't even know what happened. Like, I wasn't even there. Like, I don't even know why everybody's so mad. And Jordan has to explain it to her. And I'm just like, Jasmine, if Mariah is your good girlfriend and Bria is somebody that you are friends with and that friendship is murky, why can't you as a friend to both be able to say, both of y'all hoes was wrong, nobody is in the right, you shouldn't have put the dog stuff in with the laundry, you shouldn't have pushed her, that's that on that. Why can't you be able to say it? Like, Jordan has to explain it to you. And now, Miss Jordan, delivery was wrong, message was correct. Jordan has that like fire in her. Like, I wouldn't want to get into an argument with Jordan. Jordan seems like she beats a dead horse. And the way Jordan talks is very direct. Like, Jordan is honestly kind of me-coded. Jordan has to explain to Shanice why Bria is so mad. And I'm just thinking, y'all are good friends. Why does she have to explain this? Why does she have to explain this? Have your friends back. Period. End of. Like, what? So they go off to the side and they're talking for a little bit. And you know, Shanice is really committed to the fact that she just does not understand why Bria is upset. And like, the issue doesn't even get resolved because some guy comes by asking if Bria and Shanice want shots. So we're done with that. Back at home, Phil arrives. Now, Phil was on one. Phil came out the car dropping boxes of liquor, stumbling and falling over in the driveway, loud in the house, letting the dog out, screaming for Preston to come down, take a shot. Like, it was a lot. Phil was a lot first time coming in. It was a lot. Apparently, Bria and Phil FaceTimed each other on day one while the room situation was getting sorted out. Phil saw a room that he liked and called dibs on it. He left it up to Bria to leave a note in that room that it was Phil's room. That room was claimed by Nick. So Phil is all up in a tizzy, mad because Nick has his room. Childish, okay?
You're a grown damn man.
I have to say this. He poops in the toilet and doesn't flush it. So Mariah, Phil, and Preston join the others at the club. Phil walks up to Nick and Phil is just like, oh yeah, you took my room, and by the way, I took a dump in your bathroom. You gotta flush it when you go home.
Okay, the crickets aren't even laughing.
I don't know what my reaction would have been to that. Honestly, I don't know if I would have just brushed him off like, this man is crazy, or if I would have gotten a little bit amped up. But that just annoyed me watching it on screen. So whatever Nick's actions would have been, I would have been like, because in that moment, I don't know what I would have done either. So whatever. Now that everybody is back at the club, including Mariah, Bria is upset because she's just wassing up in here and doesn't have anything to say about her putting her hands on me literally like 2 or 3 hours ago. And I'm just like, yeah, I would feel like Bria is justified in being upset about that because Mariah did escalate it to a place where it didn't have to get to that point. But in my mind, I'm also thinking, Bria, what do you want everybody to do? Like, what do you want your housemates to do? If Mariah's not apologizing, I don't feel like any of the other housemates can do anything else for you. There are people who are saying that you guys are both wrong, and that's where it should be deaded, in my opinion. Yes, I feel like Mariah should apologize, but that's a Mariah thing. That's not an everybody thing. And I get the feeling that Bria was mad that nobody was doing anything about the situation that happened before. I could be wrong, but that's just how it came across. So then Bria is talking to Silas. I think this is what happened. Bria is talking to Silas and it's just like, your wife is being fake right now. And Jasmine comes out of nowhere. And is in between, she comes out of nowhere between Bria and Silas. And she's just like, Black excellence. That's all I care about is Black excellence. And then walks away. It was at that moment where I was just like, yeah, I'm done. It's a chop. It's a chop, sister. Like, sorry. Ugh. We gotta move on because the more I think about it, I'm just like, girl. Then a little later on, Jasmine says she doesn't know whose side to pick because she wasn't in it. She didn't see it. She said her name is Bennett and she ain't in it. And I'm just like I said before, these are both your friends. You should be able to say to both your friends, y'all's was both wrong and just move on from that. But I digress. So now Jordan pulls Jasmine to the side. And like I said, Jordan is very aggressive with it. Yo, what Mariah did was wrong. You should be able to call your girl out on it. You know, basically saying what I had said before. And then she's just like, you should be able to say that what Mariah did was wrong. Like, she pushed her like that. And it was a little power behind that push. I was like, whoa, okay. And then Jordan was just like, and that's my point. that was dead wrong because what I just did to you, now you feel a way about it. So you know that Bria feels a way about it. Like, just say that. Just say that Mariah was wrong and like call it quits, because by taking nobody's side, that makes you look bad. And that's the truth. Do I feel like Jordan was doing too much? Yes. Like I said, right message, wrong delivery. And this is also relating back to what I say, or what I mean when I say that Jasmine is a friend to nobody. Like, if you want to remain, and honestly, if you want to see what I mean, this is what Karen does on Real Housewives of Potomac. Like, think back to season 5 with the whole Monique and Candace thing, right? Karen was so adamant about she's neutral, she's friends with both. Like, Monique is always going to be invited to my stuff. Candace is always going to be invited to my stuff. It just makes you look funny in the light. Being neutral in a situation where one party was dead wrong or both people were wrong. So that's all I'm saying about Jasmine. It's coming across like she's not a friend to anyone. So now we're back at home. Nick indeed finds the poop in his toilet unflushed. He walks up to Phil and he's just like, yo dude, just go flush the toilet. Like, we're better than this. Do you think Phil just does that? No, Phil contests. And this is another scene that I had to rewind about 2 or 3 times, because I'm just thinking to myself, how did we get here? And it reminds me, Phil is just gone off his ass. Phil not even turned. Phil is drunk. It's just not a good look. It's not a good look. And then in the midst of all this, now Preston catching strays. Phil turns to Preston and he says, if only your shirt was 1 size bigger. And I'm like, don't do Preston. Do not do Preston like that. So Amir interjects. And then Phil starts pressing Alex. And I'm just like, it is too much happening. Phil says, you like, get your little ass out of this. You know, this ain't what you want. And then Amir is just like, well, let's come over here to see what my little ass could do to your big ass. And that's how the show ends. And I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, it's a chop for Phil. It's a chop for Phil. Like, he did come in the house in that FUBU sweatsuit, doing a lot. This was another thought that I had going back into episode 1, and kind of ties into like the discussions about who's picking up the tab in like literally every episode. Is Bravo trying to like, I don't know, is Bravo trying to make it seem like these people are like putting on airs? Jasmine was trying to make it sound like, oh yeah, we come down to the Vineyard often, like this is just what we do down here in Oak Bluffs, down in Martha's Vineyard. And Mariah's just like, girl, you only just started coming down here last summer, not too much. And then also they have Phil. Phil does not meet the mold, the criteria that they themselves are like trying to uphold. It's like they're trying to give them the new money trope. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how people have those conversations like old money versus new money? It's like they're trying to fit these young Black adults with the new money trope. That's really what it comes off as. Overall, for this episode, I would say that a lot happened in this episode. A lot happened in this episode, okay? It just seemed like a whole lot of nothing, kind of. It was just a lot going on. We also didn't get a preview for next episode, so we will check back in next week to see what is going on in episode 3. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you made it all the way to the end, and if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hang around a little bit, and yeah, that's all I have for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.